Hello, I'm Holly Schindler, an award-winning author as well as freelance editor, writing coach, writing instructor, and indie author and publisher. And today we're talking all things front matter. And this approach to front matter will get you a professional result without overcomplicating everything. Now, I am starting this video with my Word document for my book on narrative transportation already imported. So if you need some help importing your Word document, I already did that in a previous video. I'm going to link to it at the top of the screen here. I'm also in this video not going to spend a ton of time on some of the bells and whistles in InDesign, just a couple of things here and there. What I'm really concerned about in this video is the content of the front matter, which I know trips a lot of indie authors up at the very beginning. Okay. All right. So to start with, what is this thing over here? This is your contextual control panel. So depending on what you actually have activated, what you've highlighted with your cursor, this thing will pop up and give you some options on, what you can do. Here I've got some text highlighted. So it's asking me, do I want to keep the font enlarged? Do I want to center or left justify? I don't mind this thing. You can turn this off. I kind of like having it around. You can get rid of it or you can just drag it around. Just take this left side of the panel and just drag it out of the way. Now to start with, that right page is always going to be page one and it's always going to be by itself in InDesign. So you got, when you start your document, you've got page one, always on the right side, always by itself, and then you've got your first spread. And the first time you start working on a document in InDesign, that seems really screwball. It doesn't seem like that's right at all. It seems like that spread should be the beginning and not this kind of lonely right-hand page up here. But think about opening a book, or better yet, grab one off the shelf. Open the cover. What do you see? The paper is only on the right side, just that one sheet. Now turn the page and you actually have a spread. So that right-hand page up there by itself is correct. That is actually what you see when you open a book. Okay, now what goes on this first page then? In my world, nothing. I always leave this first page, this is the right-hand side, this is the left-hand side of a single sheet of paper. I leave these blank. Now in the book world, in the traditional publishing world, if you grab a traditionally published book on the shelf, you might find something here. A lot of times you will find, say, a half title page, or you might find, if it's it's a paperback of a book that was really popular, you might find here a page of praise. But in the indie publishing world, to get you a professional result without, adding a bunch of stuff that's really unnecessary, I leave this page and that left side of the first spread blank. Now, if you need to add blank pages, you can simply come up over on the right side of your screen. You've got a pages control panel. Click that. All you have to do is come to the bottom of it, click, and it'll instantly give you a blank page. Title page comes next. Now, the benefit of doing your own cover is going to show up here on the title page. Basically, the benefit of doing your own cover is you have your cover fonts on hand. And I just duplicate the fonts I have used for my title, and in this case, subtitle, and my name on this page. You can also provide the logo for your publisher if you've created one. Okay, now the copyright page. Now this one's going to be on the left side of the next spread, and it's the most technical page in all of your front matter. Okay, what you want here is the copyright notice, of course. So what you're going to have is your copyright symbol, the year, and your name. That's just a standard format you're going to see in pretty much every book. You also want your publisher info, even if that's just you. And then comes the standard boilerplate language. Things like all rights reserved, and the fiction disclaimer. This is a work of fiction, and names, characters, places, and incidents are the product of the author's imagination. We've seen that a million times, right? The easiest place to find examples of boilerplate language for your copyright page is actually in traditionally published books. Just grab a few off your shelf, flip over to the copyright page, and you're going to see exactly how the language is written and you can model your own after that. Now, you do not need to reinvent the wheel here. This is one place where following the established wording is completely normal. This is not copying. This is just simply following convention. Now, I like to take it one step further on my copyright page, and I do include cover credits. If I have designed the cover or drawn the cover myself, which I do sometimes, I'll indicate that I have done that. If I used a photo, a stock photo, which I did in the instance of my narrative transportation book, I do list the source and the copyright. Now, fonts are not technically copyrightable, but I still list them. I list the font name, the designer, where I got it. I do that for a couple of reasons. I do really like to give credit where credit is due, and it actually saves me later. If I ever need to update this book or create any kind of promo graphics, I can actually open this file and know exactly what I used and where I got it. Okay, now over to the right-hand side of this spread. This one I generally will either put in a dedication, or say if this is a book that's in a series, say for example my Christmas at Ruby series, I will include details about the series, all the books in the series and the chronological order that they have been published. Okay, now this book, because it is nonfiction, it has a table of contents. This page has some formatting issues that I would address before publishing it, but I'm just telling you it comes next. And the only time I include a table of contents is if I do have a nonfiction book, which this is, or if I have a collection, say a short story collection, I will include a table of contents for that as well. Then we're going to transition to the actual book itself. And here you simply want to make sure that the left-hand page is blank, and then your first page starts on the right side always. That's it, guys. That is your front matter. Clean, intentional, and structured like a real book. Once you wrap your head around it, it doesn't feel random anymore. It just starts feeling like solid book design. In the next video, I'm going to hit page numbers, and that one really gave me fits. I spent the better part of a day just trying to get my page numbers formatted, and I'm going to save you a lot of headaches next time and show you just how simple the whole process actually is. Okay, if you guys have any questions or specific pain points that you run into every single time you open InDesign, just drop it in the comments and I will absolutely build a video around it. That's going to do it for this episode of Formatting Your Book in InDesign. Catch you in the next video. In the meantime, go write something.